Hello, Hester. It's Ravi. No. Okay, so here's photosynthesis. Alright. So as you know, the equation of photosynthesis is not it is making a glucose. So it's making food, okay? So the equation of photosynthesis is 6CO2 plus 6H2O turns into, with the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight, C6H12O6, or glucose, plus 6O2, oxygen. So from the equation right there, you can tell that in order for photosynthesis to occur, there needs to be chlorophyll, sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water, and a byproduct is glucose and oxygen. YOLO. Alright, so okay, so this could be saved for the Calvin cycle. Okay, so photosynthesis occurs in plant cells, obviously, because plant cells contain an organelle called a chloroplast. Chloroplasts are green, obviously, because of the pigments, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But chloroplasts contain organelles within the organelle. One of them is called a thycaloid. Thycaloid is very important, it's very cool, and thycaloid is the home of the first stage of photosynthesis, the light-dependent reaction. Okay? Now, in the chloroplast, there's all this liquid and like jelly and stuff, and that's termed as the stroma, which is responsible for the second step of photosynthesis, the light-independent reaction. Now, in the first step of photosynthesis, the light-dependent reaction, it's the photo of photosynthesis. It converts the solar energy into chemical energy, and it helps support and power the second stage of the light independent reaction, or the Calvin cycle. And basically, what the Calvin cycle does is the synthesis of photosynthesis. It takes a carbon dioxide and a simple sugar, and it energizes it from some of the products of the first cycle. But we're going to go into much more detail with that right now. But I'm just letting you know, kind of warming up the brain, kind of getting you a little used to things. So let's talk about the thycaloid for a minute, okay? And the thycaloid, there are things all over the thycaloid, and there's two main things in the thycaloid. They're called photosystems. Now, photosystems are a complex molecular group of molecules that serve to convert solar energy into chemical energy. Okay? Within photosystems, there are pigments called chlorophyll. There's a reaction center. There's a primary electron acceptor. And then in between each photosystem is an electron transport chain. Now, in the thycaloid, in the organ of the thycaloid, which is doing photosynthesis in a certain area of the thycaloid, there are two photosystems. There's photosystem 2 and there's photosystem 1. Photosystem 2 is the one that takes the water in and robs it of its electrons. Photosystem 1 is the one that takes that electron that was transferred over from photosystem 2 and puts it to the electron carrier NADPH, or NADP, which turns it into NADPH. But anyway, there are pigments in the thycaloid called chlorophyll. And what a pigment does is it's anything that accepts sunlight. And this is why the chloroplasts, the photosystems, basically everything that has to do around the pigment is why it's green, is because there's these electrons, or there's the electromagnetic spectrum, and basically chlorophyll is absorbing all the red and blue visible light waves, and it's reflecting the green visible light waves, and that's why it's green. What?
Rejecting.
Reflecting, rejecting, doesn't it? Same thing, now. All right. So, so that's pigments, and there's the chlorophyll is the certain pigment within the process of photosynthesis, and its main component is storing cellular energy. And the chlorophyll acts as an antenna pigment, which means that it stores the solar energy in the because they're on the photosystem. All these chlorophyll are on the photosystem, and it stores the solar energy, and the chlorophyll will help transfer it to the center of the photosystem, which is called the reaction center. Okay, so what is the reaction center? The reaction center is a group of molecules and two specialized chlorophyll that is the site of converting, and they are what converts the solar energy absorbed by the chlorophyll from the sun and turns it into chemical energy, which chemically energizes the electron. Okay, but I know you don't really know about the electron or anything like that yet. I'm assuming you don't know anything in this video. I'm saying that. And we're going to get into that. So that's the reaction there. That's the definition. I've thrown a lot of definitions out there. Then we're going to get into the concept. YOLO. Okay. Oh, alright. Now there's this thing within the reaction center called the primary electron acceptor. The definition of that is the primary electron acceptor is the first recipient of solar energy. That's its definition in the book. Now, it's within the reaction center. So everything I just said about the reaction center with the molecules and the two specialized chlorophyll are still going on. But when the solar energy is being passed by the chlorophyll and first enters the reaction center, it first hits the primary electron acceptor. And this is the primary electron acceptor is where the electron is like trying to get to, and it's, you know, the electron gets energized and it actually goes to the primary electron acceptor, because the primary electron acceptor is the primary acceptor of electrons. Alright. Now there's this other thing called the ETC, the electron transport chain, which I know we learned about in cellular respiration, but there's also one in photosynthesis, and hold on. There's also one in photosynthesis, and what happens is when the electron gets energized, it's unstable when it's that energetic, and it falls down energy levels to become more stable, and this falling down of the energy levels to become more stable is called the ETC, the electron transport chain, which we'll get into in a little bit when we really go in depth. I'm just giving you an overview because stage one's, there's a lot going on, you know. All right. Okay. Now a huge part of the first step of the light-dependent reaction is water. Remember in the equation we talked about there's 6H2O, okay? The first step is water. Huge part. Because...
Stop it.